What's going on?
What's happening? How you doing today?
I'm doing well. I got a lot done today. I just wanna make you admit something real quick that it is not always me that it is late. It is a lot of times equally you. Just so some people, not naming any names in the chat, know that it's not always my fault.
Hey, look, we're both at fault. There's days that we're running late, and one has to push the other a little bit. More oftentimes than not, here lately, it's been me more than her.
Thank you. I just wanted to get that out of the way. For a couple people in the crowd tonight, looking at you. But I am late a lot. It is part of my it is part of my personality at this point. But you know what? Better late than never.
No. It's all good because I end up being late for things like this, but everything else I really do good at. So I don't know why I can be late here.
Listen, I'm more on time here than I am anywhere else. So
That's true.
you think I'm late here? You should see me anywhere else. I was born that way, I think, to be late. But welcome everybody to another. My hair is getting so long. Week of NFL picks, predictions, preview, where we're gonna dive into each and every game. And really, our guess is we'd probably do better with the coin flip some games. We have a better chance getting it right that way than making guesses based on what we know, because I've seen a lot of things that don't make sense. And but on the bright side, I don't think there are that many games this week that I had to think too hard about. And with that being said, the NFL will continue to be the NFL.
The main thing that really tore me up this week about looking at games and picking was that I'm a home team guy. I usually like the home team a lot of the time, and this week I did not like the home team very often.
That says a lot because both of our teams are home teams this week. But we'll get into our teams a little bit later. But what do you say we go ahead and kick this one off?
Really quick, congratulations on locking up Travis Kelce for a nice little stint.
What?
I think they redid Kelsey's contract today.
Oh, that was like 2 weeks ago.
Really? It just came up on my feed today when I clicked in. I didn't see that, but that's a big deal.
Yeah, they renegotiated his contract or restructured it about 2 weeks ago. That's when the whole OBJ to Kansas City talk started happening.
See, I thought they extended him today.
Oh, I didn't see anything about that, but
well, then you would see it before I would. But
I've been busy today. Martina Davies fins up everyone too, putting the league on notice. Bears up next. Watch out! Here comes Tyreek and Waddle. Hey,
yeah,
they're getting back to right. They're getting back right. But what do you say we jump into some Thursday night football?
Right on. Let's go.
All right, Thursday night we got the World Series. Phillies and Astros taking on Game 4. And the only reason they're being played tomorrow is because of a reschedule due to rain. But in terms of the NFL, we've got the Philadelphia Eagles at the Houston Texans for Thursday night football. What do you think?
So I like the fact that Houston's a big-time underdog in this game. I think that's fair. I do think Davis Mills can perform against this team. I think his style of quarterbacking, your cat's annoying me today. His style of quarterbacking does bode well against Philadelphia, but I just don't see enough firepower in Houston to even keep up. So
at this point, I hope they keep putting the worst Thursday night football games. Like, since Amazon bought them, like, I want them to keep putting them so bad that they just get rid of Amazon Prime, like, in the future. Like, let's leave the matchups to be horrible. Are you beating my cat?
No, he's terrorizing me.
But I I've got mixed feelings about this game. Realistically, Philly should steamroll the Texans, but they just steamrolled the Steelers, so they might kind of write this game off. And that's just what's been happening in the NFL. 2 easy games, realistically speaking, back to back, and this could be one of the ones where they let their guard down and the Texans sneak in. With that being said, I am going to pick Philly to win this game. And not for any reason. This is the best team in the NFL versus the worst team in the NFL. Do I think for any reason at all that the Texans could shock us and shut down the Philadelphia offense for no reason? Yeah, I do think that could happen. And I'm kind of rooting for that because at this point, I choose chaos overall. But an interesting thing, and I mentioned this last night while we were talking about the trade deadline, and a big name that didn't get called was Brandon Cooks. He's not practiced the last 2 days. I think he is about to hold out until he gets released because that's kind of what it's feeling like right now. He didn't practice today, so I doubt we'll see him tomorrow. And I don't think, I take that back. I was going to say I don't think without their best receiver they stand a chance, but that's the kind of scenario that when the next guy up comes in there, he's got something to prove, and they usually play really well. Not the Texans, but NFL in general. They play really well trying to step up for the big leagues to win that starting job. Like I said, I'm going to take Philly here, but I feel like it's either going to be a blowout or a very, very interesting game.
Yeah, it's really kind of strange that they didn't get anything and let him and trade him at the deadline. It seemed like it was going to happen regardless, and the fact that they didn't really it makes me curious to what they think. I don't really understand that.
So I had a little bit of time to think about that really, and Crafty says ominous. That was the word I was trying to think of last night when I said he made an ominous post. And it's kind of seeming like he got lied to. And that's where he is angry. And so I feel like we're going to see a holdout. He's going to get released, and somebody who probably doesn't need him, but just to make them that much better is going to get him.
Yes, that's probably fair. But it just seems rather strange. A team that's been really good about, some aspects of it. I
was going to say, wait until, watch how you say that, because I'm probably going to be able to come back with you on that organization.
Yeah, the Deshaun Watson thing was kind of weird.
What about the DeAndre Hopkins thing?
Yeah, but I feel like they could have got something in return and really easily. And just like the Bears, they should be looking towards next year and not towards.
I feel like Brandon Cooks could still end up being a Bear if he gets released somehow. I feel like he could be snagged up by Chicago.
They'll definitely have the money to sign him next year.
Also, interesting fact on this one, with our fellow historian in the chat, the Texans have never beat the Eagles in the 5 times they've met. I don't think they're going to start now.
Yeah, spending too much time on this game is probably kind of futile, but it's just really strange how they handled that. I don't understand why Houston handled that the way they did. They could have got a 3rd or a 4th round pick probably for a guy that talented.
I bet they could have gotten higher than that. I think they could have got a 2nd or 1st.
There's some teams out there that could really use a good wideout, and he's affordable.
And so you're going to take the Eagles because you've never officially said that.
Oh, I did.
You did take the Eagles, but you didn't say, I'm picking the Eagles. So yeah, you were kind of just beating around that. But
no, I took the Eagles.
I want the Eagles to not win the Super Bowl, but I want the Eagles to get to the Super Bowl. And I think if they have an undefeated season, they will not get to the Super Bowl. So I want them to have one of those losses that, sets them back and makes them more hungry. Will it be this week? No, but I kind of hope that it is this week. So I'm gonna root for the Texans this week. But next game on our slate, first game on Sunday. This is a pretty interesting game. The Chargers are at Atlanta taking on the Falcons, the ones ahead of their division at 4-4. What are your first thoughts on this one?
First thought was, oh, it's a no-brainer. You got to pick the Chargers. And then I'm sitting there thinking, oh, who do I like more right now? And right now, I think Atlanta has an edge in this game without Cordell Patterson. I think they have a slight edge. J.C. Jackson is out. Joey Bosa is on IR. Rashawn Slater is still out. The Chargers have a lot of good pieces that are not here for this game. I'm going to go ahead and take Mariota and the Falcons, man, just because they've got my heart this year.
Okay, well, I'm going to come out and say it. I had already decided I was taking the Falcons. And the reason being is with and without Cordell Patterson, they are 3-1 at home. They've played really tough at home. They've played tough on the road, but they've played really good at home. Things are starting to move their way. They're starting to be able to score more points per game. The Chargers, like you said, they're depleted. But I still think at the end of the day that this Chargers roster with the injuries is still better than the Falcons without. I think this is somebody in the front office or coaching for the Chargers is on the hot seat on this game. If the Chargers do lose, I feel like somebody might get fired. I'm not going to say a head coach, but I feel like there might be some movement in the management and coaching of that team because they still need to be winning. But I am going to take the Falcons here because I feel like there's a new sign of life in Atlanta and with the fans, with the team, with everything. Because look, their roster is not impressive compared to at least 20 other rosters in the NFL. And the Chargers roster is impressive, healthy or not healthy. But I just feel like they're winning games. They just took sole possession of their division. I think, they're fired up. They've got something to fight for now. And so I think they're a more inspired team right now than the Chargers.
Maybe Staley will fire his analytics. Yep.
I was disappointed in the Falcons versus the Bengals, but the Falcons secondary was completely depleted, and they did make some pickups in the trade deadline, so they're going to have a couple more guys and in their secondary to help bolster that a little bit, even though they're still a little depleted. But I'm gonna take the Falcons at home. Next game on our slate, we've got the Miami Dolphins at the Chicago Bears. That's what I said. I laughed when I looked at it.
Man, Justin Fields is playing good football.
They're playing inspired football as well.
They've traded away the mainstay off their defense.
Yeah, Roquan Smith and what's his name?
Quinn.
What?
Robert Quinn.
Robert Quinn. Yes.
So they've traded away two of the main reasons that their defense is playing well, but they play inspired football at home. I just don't think Miami's got it, but I really hate to pick against them too. The secondary in Chicago's playing pretty decent football. I don't know. I'm up in the air at this point in time. I think give me the Fins on the road.
So yeah, I looked at this both ways, and I was trying to be as realistic as possible. I think the pass game is going to open up with Chase Claypool. Look, I don't think he's a very good receiver. I don't even think he's worth a second-round pick, but he is a big guy in the receiving core to add to the mix, and I think it will help spread the ball when they do throw it. And so I feel like this offense is going to look a little bit better, which is much needed since their defense is going to look a little bit worse. I think the Dolphins will win this game narrowly because I think the Bears are still going to be able to put up points. Look, I know they got Bradley Chubb on their defense, but their secondary has been hurting a little bit. And, people are putting up points on the Dolphins. I mean, the Steelers didn't, but the Steelers have no offense, really. But everybody else has been able to put up a large number of points. Look at the first 3 wins of the season when Miami was completely healthy. They put up like 35 plus points, but look at how many points the other teams were putting up as well. They were all close games. And so I'm going to take Miami to squeak a win out, but Chicago plays really tough at home. And this team is playing as good as the Packers. So this is the fan base. Look, the Packers may not be playing excellent football, but to be right there neck and neck with them is a win for Chicago, and these fans are happy. And so I'm going to take them to be a very close game, but the Dolphins win by probably 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's about where I'm at exactly. I can't
Unless
believe
the Bears collapse because of their defense, which is obviously a possibility, but I think they're playing inspired football, so I'm not going to bet completely against them.
Where they can win the game is interceptions.
Yep, and they didn't get rid of none of those guys. So, any underthrown ball to Tyreek Hill could be picked off in this game.
I love that Martinez is high on Tua. I mean, it's good that people.
Hey, their offense can put up 40 points a game. So, I mean, as long as their defense can only allow 39, they can win. Their defenses even though they're injured, they're still coming together and getting better. And so this Dolphins team does look a little scary. I don't think they're unbeatable, but they are looking a lot better. Next game on our slate, I'm going to hand this one straight off to you because I do have some comments on it, but I want to hear what you have to say. The Carolina Panthers at the Cincinnati Bengals.
I feel very threatened. Look, I was reading local media today, and not everybody gets Cincinnati media. And local media today is already starting to point fingers and push blame around. That game Monday night.
That's what's going to happen. Look, they had a high success rate last year, and then now.
And really, I don't think they're in any worse or better position than they were in last year.
I will say this before I let you finish. If they win this game, they will be 5-4 going into their bye, and no matter how bad they looked last week, and with the offensive line, they were 5-4 at their bye last year.
Yeah, and I don't think they're any better or any worse or any better, or they're in a worse position this year as far as the wild card goes, and that's only because they don't have any divisional wins. But they don't have any divisional wins because their offense is very, 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 very predictable, especially in the run game,
especially within the division.
Yeah, so everybody knows what they're going to do within the division. Carolina, Steve Wilkes is a really good head coach that really got shanghaied in Arizona after 1 year. I think he's got something to prove. I really think it's going to be a close game. But I have to go ahead and pick my Bengals at home because I got to believe in my team that they're going to right the ship a little bit. 5-4 at the break, I'll take that. But there is a distinct possibility that they could walk away with this game with an L if they don't run the ball.
Oh man, my issue is this could easily be a coin flip game for me. Look right here. Nathan said the Panthers and Bengals have met 6 times. The Bengals have only won 2. And so right there, that just kind of hurts where I was going with this. And but I think last week, or I guess only like 2 days ago, where we saw the Bengals and the Browns, they only put up 13 points. They were having offensive struggles to start this season. They finally got right and then lose their number 1, and then they look like this. But I think this is an entire week, even though it is a short week for them, an entire week to game plan without Jamar. They just figured out what doesn't work, so now they're going to be able to capitalize on what does work. I think this is a get-right game for the Bengals. Maybe we're going to see targets to guys that me and you were preaching needed to see targets in the last game. And, Hayden Hurst and Tyler Boyd, the jump balls to T. Higgins, maybe open up the pass and not just throw the ball to Joe Mixon on a wheel route from the behind the line of scrimmage, because that's what they've done the last 15 years with their running backs, and it's never working. So I don't know why they won't just throw that play away and forget it exists. But I think this is going to be a very narrow game. I'm predicting it's going to be like a 24-21, really tight game. But the only concern I have for Cincinnati in this specific matchup is the offensive line issues. They did not trade away Josh Allen or Brian Burns. So hopefully Joe Burrow makes it out of this game, because those two guys are not Josh Allen, but Brian Burns and I can't even remember what the other guy's name is on the other side of the line, but it's going to be an interesting one. I think this, for a non-Bengals, non-Panthers fan, is going to be a fun game to watch. But I think the Bengals get their head out of their butts and wipe away last week and move forward. And even though it might not be pretty, get a slim win at home.
Yeah, it's gonna be the
last time they played in Cincinnati was in 2014, and it ended in a tie. That's just that's a bad taste right there.
The strange thing about the Bengals this year is that outside of the division, they've only lost one game, and that's really. But I think that's because of lack of familiarity with the way the team actually works. Every team within the division has a great game plan against them. And I'm hoping that the trend continues outside the division.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna take the Bengals. I'm very leery about it, especially seeing the history. But I think it's gonna be a fun game. What's up, the Bud Files?
Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you.
Also, Johnny, appreciate you.
JSP
in here. But yeah, that's gonna be. I don't want to say that this is a must-win for Cincinnati, but it feels like a must-win right now. If they can't win in their division, they have to win the rest of the games.
That's it.
Next game on our slate, another divisional matchup, the Packers at the Lions. Now, listen, I have a feeling that the Packers are incredibly, and excuse my language, incredibly pissed off at the Lions right now. So, before I dive into it, I'm going to take the Packers to get a win here. But they're without TJ Hawkinson. Their offense isn't going to be quite as open. If they use Aaron Jones, they should be able to rush for 300 yards in this game, because the defense is not that great. And if they can get guys like Romeo Doubs and Samori Toure going like they did last week against Buffalo, this could end up being a blowout. I'm going to take it to be the Packers are going to win by 2 scores. I know that the Lions offense is good, but I think the Packers defense can mellow it out. It is a divisional game, so I could be completely wrong. But I am going to take the Packers. Listen, I absolutely love this Detroit Lions team coming into this season, and now I absolutely hate them for trading away TJ Hawkinson. That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I don't care if it was personal. They didn't have to give him to the Vikings though, and I don't agree with none of it. And so I'm gonna take the Packers to kick the Lions' ass and get right.
I gotta say that I'm so perplexed by this Green Bay team. I have not gotten one of their games right in the last 5. I'm sorry. I got the Buffalo game correct. I take that back. But I haven't, that's just it. They played competitive against the Giants. They played competitive against the Commanders.
They played competitive against the Bills.
But why are they not getting over the hump? But you know what? I'll take the Packers. I'm going to regret it. I'm going to regret it. I'm probably going to regret it. But I just don't think Detroit has the firepower. I think Aaron Rodgers finally starts making some connections in this game.
They just took a huge, big guy in the middle of their offense away. So I can't pick them. especially against a team that is rising. Look, Tampa Bay is still right here, but Green Bay is starting to go upwards. Look, they ran the ball. They gave Aaron Jones 140 yards against the Bills. What is he going to do against the Lions if they just hand it to him? He is going to carve up a lion and make some lion stew for dinner and sit in front of a fire and laugh at them. Like, that is what's going to happen.
I just inevitably have the feeling during this whole stretch that Green Bay is tanking. I feel like they're tanking, and I just can't help but feel that way because I feel like they could have won every one of their last 5 games. Every one of them I felt like they had an opportunity to win, and they keep losing. I'm going to pick them. I'm going to pick them until they win one for me, but it's reluctant.
Look, we can put the blame on Rodgers, and I know a lot of people want to, but look at Rodgers' O-line, man. It's been bad. Look, his O-line isn't quite as bad as how Cincinnati's has been this season, but it's pretty freaking close. Rodgers just doesn't hold on to the ball like Burrow does half the time. He'll throw it away. And that's where the sack differential comes up between these two teams. Look, his line is bad, but he does have a 52-headed monster in Aaron Jones, the best guy on that entire team. I can't pick. Look, I told you I wouldn't pick them the rest of the year, but after watching them play against Buffalo, I feel like they can beat anyone except for Buffalo. Like, anyone. It doesn't matter. Buffalo's just on another level than them. They were not going to let them lose a primetime game at home. But this might be the last game I do pick as a pack for the Packers, but I can't pick the Lions right now because I'm mad at them.
Fair enough.
Next game, the Indianapolis Colts visit the New England Patriots, the one team the Colts hate more than the Titans.
Another team that is in complete disarray, has really no idea of a direction. They can't get it together very well at all. They still almost beat Washington, but who hasn't almost beat Washington this year? Give me the Patriots. I'll take Belichick over that whole team.
Okay, I swear, if I get burnt twice, I am going to actually, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to be so mad. This is the same game as the Bears at the Patriots. This should be an absolute massacre, especially look at Bill Belichick versus rookie QBs. Sam Ellinger's not a rookie, but this is his first shot, so that's the equivalent of being a rookie. If they don't win by 20, I am going to throw hands because that is what is supposed to happen. I don't care what any Colts fan says to me. That team is bad. They just lost Nyheim Hines. Jonathan Taylor's playing bad. This defense is not playing superb. There is nothing in my mind that say that the Patriots will not win by double digits in this game. But if I get burned by them twice, I will absolutely lose it. Because they should have massacred the Bears, and the Bears put up 33 points, which I didn't know was possible. So, with that being said, the Colts might put up 33 points for no reason.
I don't think they will. There's just nothing there.
On to the next. The scariest game of the week. The Bills at the Jets.
Now that you said that, Colts by 10. Thanks, Shelby.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I might even put a bet in an alternate point spread, the Colts minus 10. Just because, like, that's the stupid, like, me getting burnt, stupid chaos that's been happening. Now, if 2 weeks ago hadn't happened, my opinion on this game would have drastically changed. If Breece Hall was in this football game, I would probably pick the Jets for an upset. With that being said, this defense is done pretty well this season. I think they are going to give Josh Allen some fits. This Bills offense, this is the team that Buffalo is going to lose. I hope you're right. I hope I get burnt on this because I have to take Buffalo because Zach Wilson has been playing bad. But this Jets defense is inspiring me, and I think this is not going to be a blowout like it's supposed to be.
I don't think I'm still not there on the Jets. I think they're still a really young team. I really felt like next year was going to be their year. They get a year to put it all together. I don't think Zach Wilson's quite where he needs to be yet. I'll take Buffalo on the road.
Yeah, I got to take Buffalo on the road. I wish they were playing in Buffalo first and then the Jets later. So they had more time to get James Robinson acclimated into this offense, so I could be a little happier about it. But since they are at home and they're probably going to take an L here, they're probably going to get swept by the Bills this season. But you know what? I will be rooting with everything in my body for the Jets to pull off this upset. Look, any team that plays Buffalo, that is the fan I am of the week. And I was already a Jets fan, so let's go. Let's get the Jets rolling. There's no way they're going to win this game, but I hope so. On to the next. This is probably, like, I know I say this a lot, but this might be the most interesting game of the week to me. The Vikings at the Commanders. The Jets' schedule is unforgiving going forward, and I feel so bad for them. Breece Hall going out at the literal worst time. But, yes, Vikings at Commanders. What do you think?
Washington has squeaked out a couple good wins with Taylor Heineke. They haven't really performed super well in those games. They played well enough to win. Minnesota is one of those teams that I just don't trust. And I don't have a good explanation for why. I think we talked about this the other day.
We talk about this every single week that they win again.
Their roster is amazing. I think they've got a great roster. I think they got a very capable quarterback of winning. Their offensive line plays really fairly well. Their defense plays not great, but admirable. But but for some reason, I don't trust them going into Washington. However, I'm going to stick with my guns on my road teams this week, and I'm going to take the Vikes.
I have to go check something out with Washington, and I meant to do that before this game. Vikings and Washington met 27 times, including 3 in the postseason games. Vikings have won 14 in the last 2 meetings, 1 in Minnesota, 1 in Washington. Okay, let me pull up this real quick. Go to the injuries. J.D. McKissick, questionable. Where's Chase Young? Chase Young is expected to return in this game. I am going to take the Washington Commanders at home because I believe in Taylor Heineke. And like Crafty said, this is Cousins' homecoming. And I think this defense is going to be ready for Kirk Cousins. Something is telling me that I need to take Washington in this one. Like, I believe in Taylor Heineke.
I know you do.
I believe, and I do not believe in the Minnesota Vikings. I think maybe this one is, look, it almost came true last week when I picked Arizona. And will I get burned by the Vikings again? It's definitely possible because I've picked a lot of games against them. Because I'm being realistic and they're just finding a way to scoot around the real and make up their own rules at this point. The Cardinals were coming back in the game. There was missed calls. Like, things are running in their favor, and their favor has to run out eventually. And I think Taylor Heineke is going to open up and rain on his homecoming parade and get the W. I do not believe in this Vikings team. They might be one of the best rosters in the NFC, and for whatever reason, I don't believe in it. And I can't, like you said, I can't explain it, and I'm tired of trying to figure it out. I don't know what's going on. The Washington Commanders are about to get sold to a new owner, so there's a lot of drama, but so people are overlooking their actual football, and I think they're getting better every week without Carson Wentz.
Yes, I agree with all those points, but I'm still taking the Vikings.
I should be smart and do that, but I'm going to take my shot of getting burned by them again, and Heineke wins. Washington has won 13. Last time they won was in 2016. That's a perfect time to win again. Next game on the schedule, I hate this game. Like, I actually hate this game. The Las Vegas Raiders at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Fair points and all this thing here. Let's see. I had it up here a second ago. Wow. Both quarterbacks are playing equally bad. Both running backs in this game are playing pretty equally good. They've both got very admirable wideouts.
But look at the Raiders' record on the road. I don't think they've won on the road yet.
Let's see. They lost at New Orleans, they lost at Kansas City, and they lost at Tennessee that I can see right now. Their games that they've won have been at home in the last 5. Let's see. They lost at the Chargers. They lost at Arizona. They lost at Tennessee. They lost at Kansas City, and they lost at New Orleans. They have not won a road game. Oh, my God, I can't believe it. I'm saying this, but you know what? I'm going to exercise my right. And I'm going to flip the coin because I don't want to pick this game. Heads for the home team, tails for the away team. Give me the Raiders.
Oh, God. I hate this game.
Hey, give me the Raiders. Coin flip. At least I got a 50% chance of getting it right. I get a 50% chance either way, but I'll take the coin flip.
I feel like because you took the coin flip, I have to take the opposite team that you chose.
Fair.
But I don't know. You hate this game. I hate this game. I just don't believe in the Raiders on the road right now. Eventually, they've got to snap that streak, or they won't. I don't know. Josh Jacobs playing phenomenal. What's Jacksonville's run defense like?
Jacksonville's run defense is, let's see, against the run. Rushing yards against, they're 12th.
And how many do they allow per game?
109 yards per game.
I have to take Jacksonville because that's a pretty strong run defense with the kind of numbers Josh Jacobs putting up. If they can limit him, that he's been the key to their success. All the success they've had in the last 4 weeks. Last week, I'm not even going to mention, but that's been most of it. And the Raiders' offensive line not been great. I have to take the Jaguars at home this week. They should have won last week against the Broncos, but slipped away. And this is one of my big things is the AFC West struggles against the AFC South. Look, and we're about to get to another one. I don't like those matchups. That's why I picked Jacksonville against the Broncos last week. And that's what I'm going to use to base it on me taking Jacksonville against the Raiders this week. You're using the coin flip, so you have just as much of a chance to get this right as I do, because the Raiders could come out and score 40 points here for no reason and just smack me right in the mouth. So, well, that's what I'm gonna roll with. I'm not gonna think too hard because it hurts my brain. This is the one game I did not like the most all week. Next game on the schedule, a fun one. The Seattle Seahawks at the Arizona Cardinals divisional matchup. Who you got?
Well, you're smiling. Do you have any initial thoughts, or do you want me to go first?
Look, I still think Arizona's bad at home. I don't care. Look, they beat the Raiders at home. Look, the Raiders are not good on the road, so the Raiders should have won that game, and they snuck one in, and the Cardinals realistically should win this game, but the Seahawks just look so much better all around than the Cardinals do. So I'm going to take the Seahawks on the road against a divisional opponent and to continue rolling, to continue their separation in the division. And they haven't done anything for me to be able to pick against them yet. Geno Smith MVP. Didn't they already?
Yeah, I go back to Arizona
this year.
What's that?
Didn't they already beat Arizona once this year?
They did at home, and Arizona did not get in the end zone in that game.
Look, DeAndre Hopkins is back, but
For that reason, I'm gonna take Arizona at home, even though I for no other reason than that they need a win.
They should win this game. Why shouldn't they? They've got DeAndre Hopkins, their Lord and Savior. But
I don't know. I just don't know what to say. I think that Geno Smith is playing, the quality of type of football that a leading quarterback in the NFL should play. He's playing better than a lot of the guys that are considered Derek Carr. He's playing better than Kirk Cousins. He's playing better than a lot of these guys that have the potential to win. But yet, I don't know why I still don't trust Seattle all the time.
And I still think their run game is stronger than Arizona's as well, and that's including with Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing. Kyler Murray in that game in Seattle had 100 yards rushing in that game. There was nothing else.
Lost.
Benjamin. There was no other run game. But with that being said, I still think DeAndre Hopkins is a game changer in the game. Kenneth Walker played a very good game against Arizona. He had 97 yards. That defense did not let them in the end zone. But I'm still going to take – I hate Kyler Murray. I hate this team, period. But I think they're going to win at home.
I think this is another situation, like I mentioned earlier, against the Chargers. If they lose this game, somebody's getting fired. I'm not going to say head coach because I don't think that it's that point yet. But somebody is getting fired. There's going to be movement in their staff if they lose this game.
If they lose this game, it'll probably be the defense. That's what I'm
saying. That Seattle's defense started out horrible, like non-existent. But every week, they're just getting better. And I think it's with their offense continuing to grow. Their defense is growing with them. I can't pick against them until they completely get burnt.
And let's be fair. Seattle's won 4 out of their last 5 games. The only game they lost was a shootout in New Orleans. They've played well, and you can't take that away from them. And I know in my heart I should be picking them, and that's the reason why I'm picking the Cardinals, because I just don't know why.
I will pick against the Seahawks when they give me a reason to.
Yes, that's the philosophy that you should take, I think.
Next game, a playoff rematch, the LA Rams at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh my God, dude. I don't trust either of these teams. Look, Cooper Kupp's injured, but still going to be playing, which I think is stupid. They've got other guys on their team, but Matt Stafford doesn't seem to care about anybody else, so Cooper Kupp's going to play, and he's probably going to get hurt again if he's not careful. I'm going to take the home team here because I don't trust that Rams team. Look, I know that Tampa Bay is bad. Like, I know that they're bad, but the Rams are bad too. Let's be real. They're not good. They don't have a run game. The Tampa Bay has more of a run game, and that's where my edge is going to be. If they decide to run the ball, they can run the ball better than the Rams can, which means they can control the clock better. All in all, the Rams did nothing in the trade deadline, which was dumb. I felt like they really were they are a type of team that sell their soul to win now kind of mentality nonstop. I thought they were going to at least do something. They're holding Cam Akers hostage at this point. So they've got an undrafted free agent, I believe, going to be playing for them. I think, look, the Buccaneers didn't look bad against the Ravens. They didn't look good, but they didn't look bad. I think the Rams look bad every single week. Win or lose, they don't look any better than they did the week before. They're not improving. They're going down. They have no O-line. And Matt Stafford's just making bad decisions. It's not that I want to pick Tampa. It's that I cannot pick the Rams.
I'm going to say that I agree with you wholeheartedly. Tampa Bay is 3rd in the NFL in sacks, and Matthew Stafford has been on his butt a lot. That O-line cannot get it together. Give me Tampa Bay at home. I don't care who's quarterbacking for the Bucs. The Bucs win this game.
That's what I'm saying. I think Leonard Fournette will win this game for them if their receivers don't catch a single pass.
That was easy.
See, last week, And it almost came true. It really did. Even though they were completely outplayed, that was only like a 3.4 point game. They're scoring more points than the Rams are. They just look better. They're two bad teams fighting. So I gotta pick the home team in that scenario because I don't freaking know. Like I
Hey,
just don't know.
we pick games, but we don't have to like it. The spread is 3. Tampa Bay's favored.
Rams do still have a strong D line, but they're without Von Miller, so their defense doesn't look that good to me.
I don't know. The Rams have not played well. I
have
not
no
played
faith
well.
in them. They do not look like a team that won the Super Bowl. Look, they lost some pieces, yeah, but they still should be fairly good, and they're not. They're Super Bowl hungover, and I think they're just gonna be on a sinking ship with no first round picks to at least make them feel better about it. The Bucks D manhandled by the Ravens. The Ravens are a better offense than the Rams. Like they're just the Rams' offense is disgusting at this point.
Oh, that's probably the game I get Sunday, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah, it'll probably be the game.
On to Sunday Night Football, the game that makes my gut absolutely hurt. The Titans at Kansas City, taking on my boys. I think the Chiefs have won 1 out of the last 6 games against the Titans, and that was the only game that was in the postseason. They are bad against the AFC South in the regular season. I hate it, but it might be Malik Willis starting again, and all he knows how to do is hand the ball off. So if they can limit Derrick Henry, they can win this game. I refuse to pick against my Chiefs, so obviously you know what my pick is going to be. But the uncertainty of Tannehill plays, I feel like Tennessee could win. Malik Willis plays, I feel like they're not going to win if they can stop the run.
Tennessee has won 5 in a row. The most points they've given up in any one of those games is to Vegas, which was 22. It's a 12.5-point spread. So
I don't like it. I don't like anything about it. I felt the same way as I felt against the freaking Colts. And the Titans are better than the Colts.
You know what? I got it. So let's put it like this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the Chiefs at home in a narrow victory, but I think that I'm going to take Titans in the points on a bet.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Chiefs to win 28-24. Like, it's gonna be close for no reason. Like, whoever wins, it's not gonna be by a lot, but it's gonna be a close game for no reason. Last year, we played a healthy Tennessee team as a healthy Kansas City team, and we lost 24-3 in Tennessee. Look, Mahomes did get hurt. He did get a concussion in that game, but I hope that does not happen. Obviously, but the AFC South is the AFC West kryptonite, and that's why I didn't like the Raiders at Jags game.
Tennessee isn't bad, right, Brian? I agree wholeheartedly. They're not bad. They're well coached. They're a great defensive team. In the end, I'm still not a Ryan Tannehill fan. There's several quarterbacks in this league that get put up on a pedestal that I don't really care for.
Well, let's just think about last year. They snuck a number 1 seed without Derrick Henry, and nobody knew how. Currently, they're sitting at the number 2 seed above Kansas City. Please make that make sense for me.
I think they don't give away games. I don't think Tennessee gives away games. The only game they gave away was in the playoffs to the Bengals, which they gave that game away. Turnovers. Got them in that game.
They also had 7 sacks in that game and still did not win. Like, that's just nuts.
Yeah, that was it. Turnover differential. I feel like Kansas City's a little more explosive against even a good defense. Kansas City may not put up 31 points that they're averaging this year, but they'll put up enough. They'll put up more than Tennessee does in this game.
I think, especially if Malik Willis is playing, and this game gets where Kansas City is ahead even 7 points, man, and they're forced to throw the ball instead of run the ball, and that's when Kansas City will take advantage. Now, Now, if they can't stop Derrick Henry, they might lose this game because their run defense is a lot worse than their pass defense. I have faith in my team, but my stomach hurts thinking about it. And this is exactly how I felt when we played against the Colts in week 3. So, listen, I will not be surprised if for whatever stupid reason the Titans upset the Chiefs, but I will be salty about it just because that's the way it goes. But I'm confident that the Chiefs can win by at least 3 points.
More truck owners are switching.
Tannehill did practice Wednesday, but they're not sure if he'll be able to play Sunday against the Chiefs.
Yep, that's the last update that I saw.
The reason that he won't play would be the ankle issue, not the illness that kept him off the field against the Texans. It said the sickness sucks, so I'm assuming he had COVID.
He could have just been really sick.
I know, just because of the way they wrote it. I don't know.
No, they're real good about if that's what it is, they'll say it. But it's getting that time of year where people get sick all the time. So it's not uncommon. But anyway, on to our last game of the week. I'm still torn on this one. The Baltimore Ravens at the New Orleans Saints. I am so torn about this game.
Look, I feel that the Saints are still a really good team. I feel like Andy Dalton fits in. You heard me yesterday. I was really talking high on this one. However, their defense did not look great against Cincinnati, which bothers me against Baltimore because same division, they know each other well. Different offenses, but Lamar's been playing outstanding football. He really has been playing outstanding football. And the Saints have all the weapons in the world. Now they've got a quarterback that knows the other team. I would really like to pick them in this game, but I'm going to stay with my trend on the road, and I'm going to go ahead and pick the Ravens, win, lose, or draw here, just because they played well in Tampa, and I just feel like Lamar's playing great football.
I don't even know, man. They shut out the Raiders 24-0. And that's with a Josh Jacobs that can put up almost 200 yards rushing in a game.
But you know how I feel about Derek Carr though in that game. I feel like he is not there. He's not the guy to excel.
This is what I'm thinking about right now. They won, but at what cost on Thursday? And they did just get Roquan Smith from the Bears, which is a big guy in the middle to help. But the Saints have never won hosting the Ravens. But I feel like now is the time to take the Saints. I feel like they've got too many options at QB, all the random plays they have drawn up. Olave's healthy. Alvin Kamara's healthy. Who cares if Mike Thomas is healthy? I'm surprised they didn't deal him at the trade deadline. And I don't know about Jarvis Landry either. But they're getting it done with whoever shows up. And every game they've played has been admirable, win or lose for the most part. Baltimore, I have faith that Baltimore should win this game, but I think after a big shutout win at home, the crowd's going to be electric. It's going to be loud. It's going to be crazy, and I think this will be a very close game. So I'm going to take the Saints at home, mostly just because you took the Ravens, and I wanted to take the Ravens, but every time I bet against the Saints, they burn me. Yeah, the Bucs collapse does open a way for the Saints to come back into this. But I feel like when we're talking about the Buccaneers and the Saints right now, the Saints defense is playing better than the Buccaneers as a whole. In terms of guys that are injured in the next man up mentality. There's a lot of guys making big plays, and they're getting guys back on their defense. Whereas the Baltimore lost a lot of guys this week. Even with the addition of Roquan Smith, they're still down a couple key players. I want to take the Ravens because I feel like it's right, but I feel in my gut that I need to take the Saints in this one.
I've went against my gut this weekend, so.
I mean, I've went against my gut once this weekend, and I hope I don't get burned with that because then it will be literally the last time I ever do that. I mean, I'm going to root for the Saints on Monday, and I'm sure you will be too. Yeah, you will be too. Your former QB against your division rival, I'm sure you're rooting Saints all the way.
Heck yeah.
But I absolutely like this Ravens team when they play like they're supposed to. So this is tough because I really like both of these teams. But Honey Badger is going to get another interception this week off of a stupid Madden play, and I'm going to be happy. This is at the beginning I said that this one wasn't going to be a tough week, but it ended up being a little bit tougher than I thought it was.
Dude, this week is brutal. I'm
and so the notable not mentioned teams, there is 6 teams on a bye this week. It is the Cowboys, the Giants, the Browns, the Steelers, the 49ers, and I don't remember who the 6th one was. The Broncos. I keep forgetting about them. The Broncos are on a bye this week. That's a lot of teams on one bye.
Does it feel like, we had a stretch there where it felt like this is getting easy, and now all of a sudden it feels like it's getting hard again?
Yep, it does. Probably because teams like
Oh, timeout.
Okay.
Did I sway your opinion on any of your picks this weekend? I want to know right now if I jostled your brain, so I don't want to get blamed on Monday for changing your mind.
Let me look. You didn't sway me, but I did take the Bengals in favor of you. More so than anything, because I really think the Panthers probably going to win that game. But I feel like the Bengals should, and I had you in the back of my mind thinking about that one.
I wasn't picking any other way. There's only like 1 or 2 games this year that I may not pick them going forward. At least 1, maybe 2. So
Brian says the Honey Badger is washed.
I think that
I disagree.
Let go of him at a good time, but I think
he was washed for the Chiefs. Like he was done being there, but I don't think he's been bad. He has 2 interceptions this year, 40 tackles, and he's got a couple good stats.
I saw that Kansas City picked up another wide receiver off the waiver wire. I think that Daz Newsome.
Yep. He's on the practice squad.
I remember watching him play at North Carolina a little bit, and I think he's got some potential in that offense at some point in time if he keeps right.
Oh yeah, if the Bengals and Saints both win, the Cincinnati will be having a happy week.
I really want the Saints to win. Let me go. When I stress over some of these picks, 9 times out of 10, I want the other team to win. It's just, it's really hard trying to stay ahead of this one right here, picking, because I like to pick with my heart too. And I've gotten burnt every time I pick with my heart. So, but yeah, it's some tough going out there. The slate's we've got the competition's pretty high, especially on CBS and in here. Man, I tell you what, it's tough to come out ahead every week.
I think I might be ahead of you on CBS. Actually, that's a lie.
No.
It's because I set my lineups on like Tuesday, and I don't look at them again after I've actually had a complete thought, and I just forget to change them.
Yeah, I've done pretty well on CBS.
I would tell you what our year standings are for our picks in here, but I realized today when I added them up, my total is 120 games and your total is 125 games. So I have to go back. At least I wrote everything down. I have to go back and recount everything because I was like, how? Because it says I have 56 losses and you only have 52, but it says I have 64 wins and you have 73, and those numbers didn't add up when I wrote them down today. And I was like, and so I added the numbers, and mine was only 120 games, and yours was 125. So I'm working on going back and counting all those up again to see where we actually stand.
Yeah, I believe that was Mike Zimmer's nephew, Tim. And I know that I haven't seen
Zimmer.
a lot about it, but I did see that he passed, and they were talking about it on NFL radio today.
I'm in 5th. I'll take 5th. Middle of the road. That's pretty much where I've been this season, making picks.
Hey, it's fun though. We at least get to come in here and blow off some steam.
I could probably see real quick. Let me get a calculator. It'll go a lot faster.
Uh-oh, math.
Right.
The good news is everything's documented.
3, 4, 5, 6. I just want to know how many. Okay, can anyone tell me how many games have been played this season?
Oh my God.
Because that will tell me which one of ours is correct.
No. Nathan might be able to.
I was going to say, oh, I can just Google it, maybe. How many games have been played in the NFL this year?
Over 100. Style and answer.
Yes, that is correct. Eight, 16, 24, 32, 39. I don't know.
Hang on. Got it. Let's see. Total games this year. Oh, I can't even go that route.
Math blows. Exactly. Either way, I've got it all on paper, and I'll get an updated win-loss for both of us by tomorrow when I do the Thursday night game, which is going to blow just as bad as math. Actually, I hope it's exciting, but...
Well, where are we at? Are we done for the day?
We are done for the day. I'll count the games tonight and message you. Yeah, as soon as I get off here, that's what I'm gonna do because I'm mad. Actually, I'll figure it out tonight, but I'm gonna go check on my floor that I worked hard on today and see how it's looking. Well, I started counting them up of games played, but I was like, then I'm going to get the wrong answer because it was like each game played by teams.
I know.
And that's what I started doing, and I was like, that's going to give me a really large number. All right, so we are going to wrap this one up right here, and if you would like to, so it is documented, everybody can come back and comment on the live stream all of your score predictions or winner predictions, so we can go and look at those as we go through the games tomorrow or Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. We're going to hop off here. I'll be back tomorrow night for Thursday night football, Eagles at Texans. And because everyone keeps trying to correct me and tell me I don't know which one is which at this point, I started putting things Eagles at instead of versus. So there's no confusion. We know who's the home team and we know who's the away team. I'm going to do that from now on so there's no confusion.
123 games.
Okay, so I had mine at 120 and yours at 125, so they're both wrong. So I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna go. I have to go.
Math is hard.
Math is hard, but we appreciate you guys hanging out with us all here tonight. We will see you back in tomorrow. Much love to all of you. Have a great rest of your night, and until then. Until then.
Until then.